This is Michael Orrell of MobileBurn.com, and today we have with us the LG Roomr 2, the update to Sprint's popular LG Roomr messaging feature phone. You can see the device is quite similar to the original LG Roomr, but there have been a number of substantial upgrades. One of those, of course, is the new QVGA resolution display. And while the display is still only 2 inches in diagonal, which is kind of small, it gets some pretty sharp graphics on it, especially text, and LG was nice enough to give you some sort of control over font sizes and stuff, and I'll show you a little bit about that later. Another minor change here is the D-pad's now square. I think that takes up a little bit less room and actually feels a little bit better, makes a little more sense. The QWERTY keyboard has been updated substantially, not all in a great way, but we now have, instead of the 3 rows that we used to have, we have an additional 4th row up top dedicated to the numbers. What would have been nicer if they had used the 4 rows to do the alphabetic, the top 3 rows here, and then have punctuation stuff down at the bottom. That way you wouldn't have the space bar in between, like the B and the N, which throws off all the alignments on the various keys as compared to a regular PC keyboard. But overall, the feel of the keys are really nice. They have really good tactile feedback. They're spaced well. The colors are nice. I mean, it's very easy to see. You can see the space bar is quite dark compared to the rest of them. The function key is red. It's all very eye-catching. It's a nice design. The new alphanumeric keypad, which you can also use for messaging and things like that, is a little stiff, just like it was on the original. The keys are separate, but a little bit odd in their design. Back keys, N key, talk keys, 2 soft keys up here, and of course there are soft keys right in the corners of the display when you're using it in landscape mode with the QWERTY keyboard too. So, although you still use the D-pad center key for selecting things. Around back we have installed on this particular model. We have the second rear cover, the one with the etched design, but the actual device comes standard with this one installed, which is much plainer. But we just put it on there so you can see what it looks like. Either way, it's a nice electric blue color. It's pretty bright. It's not soft touch, even though it kind of has that sheen to it. It is regular, a hard coating. Really nice, resists fingerprints quite well. Attractive design overall. In terms of other controls, you can see we have the volume keys over here on the left-hand edge and a very oddly spaced camera shutter button on the left. Really weird because when you're using the camera, if we pull it up here by pushing the shutter button, it's your left finger, your left hand instead of the right one. And it also doesn't work in landscape mode. You can see the menus running down the edge here. So it's meant to be pictures to be taken like this. The only way to get it to take pictures where it would make sense to hold it horizontally is when the keyboard's open, and then you can't really get to that button very well. So you end up using the D-pad. Not sure what they were thinking there. I think this is all related to the fact that unlike most of these sideways sliding keyboard devices that would slide this way open up, the LG Roomrs open up the other direction. So a little bit of a quirk there. Won't really cause too much of a problem, but just a bit of a design flaw. You can see the cameras on the back. The camera on the old one used to be right here in the center. Now it's a little bit over to the edge. Doesn't have that much of an impact on things. We have a micro USB connector on the bottom, which is nice to see LG's move into that. It's a lot more convenient to have one type of connector that you can use for all of them. On the left edge of the device we have a micro SD memory card slot, and we also have a headphone port for your headphones. Unfortunately, it's a 2.5mm port, so you have to use an adapter for using standard headphones like you would use with an iPod or something like that. I'm going to show you how text messaging works. We're going to send a text message here. We're going to pick a number from the contacts, our old buddy John Doe there, and you can see we have predictive text on, so I can just type, "This is a test." Now, of course, any reasonable person would just use the QWERTY keyboard. Because it works much faster. It's really a nice keyboard in spite of the odd layout. We'll send that off. Messages aren't exactly threaded, but they do keep them in a common. They keep them sorted by the user, so you can quickly access the messages. It's not quite like IM look to it, but it works well enough. I don't really have enough messages on here to show you.